All right, so in this session, we're going to be doing a mobility session. All right, it's not going to be a workout. It's going to be, well, it's going to be a workout. Sure, it's going to be a workout on our mobility, our flexibility, as opposed to any muscular strength or endurance development. Okay, we're not looking to raise our heart rate. We're just looking to move a little better through some drills. So there are three things that we're going to look at. The first thing that we're going to look at is our squat. All right, so we're going to look a bit at the squat technique, but more importantly, we're going to look at some of the things that can help us get deeper into that squat and maybe feel a little better in the squat. The second thing we're going to look at is touching our toes. I hope that by the end of this session, you'll be able to get a little bit closer to touching your toes, and I'm going to give you a couple skills and drills that you can use for that. Why does that matter? Well, firstly, why does the squat matter? Because we use it in our workouts, but you know what? Our workouts and the fitness that we do isn't so we can do more workouts and do more fitness. Why do we want to be able to squat? Because it is a foundational movement. You should be able, the goal should be to have a pretty deep squat, not for working out specifically, but just for being able to do things in life. Look, when I go to pick something up, I can squat down, pick it up. When I go to tie my shoelaces, I'm in somewhat of a squat position. You want to be able to do that. And the longer you're able to do that into the later life, I promise, the better you're going to be able to enjoy life. When it comes to the toe touch, why do we want to be able to somewhat get towards our toes, touch our toes? Because again, there are a lot of things in life where that flexibility matters. For as simple as if you're somebody who ties their shoes like this, or again, maybe you're going to pick something light up off the ground, or you're reaching for something, or even through movements that you do, through running, through climbing, through fun activities. That flexibility matters, along with what we're talking about with the squat. And lastly, we're going to look at some upper body mobility, okay? Through the shoulders, mid, upper back. We're going to start with the squat, though. And I'm going to say this, if you didn't get these things together yet, you want to have something like a belt. I'm using a martial arts belt, okay? You could use a leather belt, some kind of long strap that you've got lying around, or even a pair of jeans, okay? You just want something that you can loop around your foot that we can use for some stretching. And I say jeans because you're not going to rip them when you pull on them. And then the other thing, you want a pillow. This is going to be a cushion that we're going to have just to protect our knees a little bit, as well as when we are lying on our side, just for a little bit of cushioning for our head, okay? So get those things real quick so that we can get started. So the first movement we're going to look at, as I mentioned, is the squat. So I'm going to show you a squat, and then I'm going to get you just to do it. So a squat, when we're talking about a squat, we have our feet hip width apart about, we have our heels about hip width apart. Our feet are going to be flat, and we're going to try to get our hips as low as we can, keeping our feet flat, our heels on the ground, our knees out, and our chest proud. So I'm getting this low in the squat. You don't necessarily have to get this low. Maybe you're going to be here. That's totally fine. Okay, I just want you to know where you're at with your squat. So do 5 or 6 squats, okay? Get down, hang out down there. Get as low as you can again with your heels glued to the ground, so not up on your toes. Your back doesn't have to be perfectly straight because we don't have a load in our hands. Okay, so if you're hunched a little bit, it's not a big deal. Okay, but you do want to try to have a proud chest, and we want to push our knees out. Okay, so get a couple of squats. Just see, how does it feel? One, how does it feel? Take note of the tightness in your hips, tightness in your knees, maybe tightness in your ankles. Take note of how your body moves. Does your chest dip forward? Okay? Do you start noticing very quickly that your heels want to come off the ground? Okay? So go for feeling. What am I feeling right now internally? And then go for, okay, how is my body moving? So get a couple more. Okay? So I'm going to try to do my really good squat. Sorry, I was mimicking what some of yours might look like. So I've got a sense of what my squat feels like. I want you to lock that down, okay? That's going to be our baseline squat. That means everything we do after this, we're going to compare it to that squat. All right? So we've got a couple of things that we're going to do today. We're going to start from the very bottom of the squat. So when I say the very bottom of the squat, we're going to start with the movement in our ankles. All right? We're going to do a little thing called an ankle rock. So this is what I want you to do. Have that pillow, or if you have a big folded up towel, whatever, something to cushion to put under your knee. Now, if you feel comfortable being on it, maybe you've got carpet and it's nice and cushy, that's great. But if you've got a hard floor like I do, be nice to yourself, okay? Don't put yourself in a situation where your knee's gonna be uncomfortable. You don't need that. So we're gonna be in this kind of half kneeling position, okay? Here are the rules for this drill. We need to make sure that our heel stays on the ground, okay? Keep it glued. So watch what we're gonna do. I'm gonna keep that heel glued on the floor, and I'm gonna rock forward as far as I can. Okay, as far as I can, keeping that heel. If I go any farther, whoop, look, there's space under, no good. Here, come out of it. If you have a couch by you and you're working by a couch, use that. Okay, rock forward and come back. Now, again, don't compare yourself to other people. Maybe you're training with somebody right now, or compare yourself to me. Okay, just see how far you go. So maybe some of you are going to get this far, and then you're going to really feel your heel come off the ground. Okay, don't worry about it. I want you to do 10, slowly rocking forward. Breathe in as you rock back, exhale, and relax as you go forward. Each time, keeping an eye on this. Feel that contact. Okay, as you're doing this, something that you can do that can help is actually think of pulling your shin towards the top of your foot. So it's like you're doing this, you're pulling it in. So I'm actually thinking about pulling. I'm actively using these muscles through here to pull myself further and rock out. You probably have just a couple more left. If you've done those 10 to the middle, now I want you to do 10 going over the pinky toe. Okay, 10 over that pinky toe. Inhale as you rock back. Exhale as you go forward. Good. Inhale, exhale. Okay, keep going. Now, as you're doing that, I want to remind you why, or I'm going to explain to you why we don't want this heel to come off the ground. Because if I go like this and then my heel comes off the ground, as my knee is going forward, notice there's no change in the angle here. That means I'm not actually stretching. As soon as that heel goes down, oh, look at that angle become more acute. It's smaller. Okay? Let's switch now to the other side. Get my other knee on. Set up. I'm going to go to the center. Breathe in. Exhale. Go as far as I can. Some of you might be getting a stretch in through here, so you might have to adjust where that leg is. Maybe that's a little bit too much. Inhale. Exhale. There we go. Let's try to get 10. We've got the time. All right? 10 of those. Using that breathing. Being mindful of keeping that heel on the ground. Okay? A little test that I can do. I'm going to take this belt. You keep going. You keep going. I'm going to put this belt under my heel. And I'm going to pull out. Pull back. So as I go forward, if I raise that heel, I lose the belt from under there. Okay? So that's a little trick you can do. You can try that by yourself or have somebody else do it. Okay, once you've done 10 in the middle, let's go 10 over the pinky toe, that bit of an angle. Okay? So I want you to rock those 10 over that. Now, this drill you can do a lot of different ways. You can do it this way. If you're finding balance-wise it's hard and maybe you don't have a couch, or in the future you didn't have a couch, you can do it by a wall and have your hands at the wall and rock forward. And each time have a goal of tapping the wall. If you touch the wall easily, you would just scoot your foot back and then do it again. Okay, so that's a way that you could use a wall to do it. Okay, so we've done that. Let's just do some more squats. Again, we're always going to do a test. We set our baseline. We're going to do a drill now. We're going to do a retest. So get your feet hip width apart. Set up like you did your previous squat. And just see if this makes a difference. Okay, squat down. Maybe you feel a little bit more freedom in your ankles. Okay, see how you feel? Get a couple more squats. Get to the bottom. How does that feel? Do you feel like you have a little bit more movement? Okay, as you do that, you can still use that counterbalance if you need it for doing your squat. but take note of what your ankles are feeling, how those feel. Now, for some of you, it might have been like, nothing's changed, feels just as good. For others, if your ankle mobility was an issue, I'm betting that you're feeling a bit of a difference here. Okay? So, that's called the ankle rock. Great mobility drill. If you're going out for a run, do this before. If you're going to work out, do this before. If you're going to go and play a sport, pretty much if you're going to do anything really active, do this before. It's a great way to mobilize your ankle and then get prepped. Because what happens is if you don't get really good movement in that ankle, that tightness is going to translate into an ankle injury or move up and cause some pain or issues in joints above the ankle. So keep that in mind. The next one we're going to do, this one's going to be fun. Fun. It's the couch stretch. So this is how we set it up. We're going to put, I'll go at an angle here so you can see. You're going to put your foot up on a couch. You can put it at a wall as well. You can do that too. Or on a couch or on a chair, something like this. Okay, side of the bed, whatever. So you're going to have it like this. Okay? Orient yourself this way so it feels more comfortable. I'm just saying it this way so you can see. All right? Foot up. Knee is going to be on the pillow. You're not going to let your hips be back. You're going to push your hips forward so that your knee is under your hip is under your shoulder. Okay? From there, you're going to have your other knee bent from here. Squeeze that butt cheek, that glute, those glutes, and tighten your abdominals. What you're doing, your hips are like a bowl. By tightening those glutes, you're tilting the bowl back. By tightening your abdominals, you're pulling the top of the bowl up, which is tilting it back. And that's creating a stretch on the muscles in the front. So squeeze that butt cheek, tighten your abdominals. We're going to do 10 breaths. I'm going to set up here so I can get a little better angle for myself. You can push your hips a little bit, but don't arch your back. I'm pushing my hips forward, squeezing that glute, tightening these abdominals. A little extra. Get those 10 breaths. Good, come out of it. What we can do now is take that foot down. That was giving a major stretch, particularly here on our quads, a little bit on our hip flexor. To get a little extra hip flexor, we're going to put foot on the ground this time. We're going to squeeze our butt cheek again, tight up here. Reach up, push our hips forward a little bit more, and now get a bit of a hip flexor stretch. So we're going to do one stretch right to another stretch. You're going to feel this one in your hip flexor a bit more. You might have to push your hips forward a little bit more, but still squeeze this glute, tighten these abdominals. Still breathing. I'm raising the same side arm to give a little stretch along the side, a little bonus while I do it. Good, and come out of it. Okay? Shake that leg out a little bit. Let's set up on the other side. So now, foot up on the couch or on the bed or at the wall. Wall's a little less comfortable because your ankle's going to be put into a bit of a different position. Here, whoo, I feel this right away. I've been sitting around a little bit more than usual. Squeeze this glute, tighten these abdominals. You should feel this going down your quadriceps, your thighs. You might feel this a bit in your hip flexors, but we'll give our hip flexors a little bit more attention afterwards. Keep squeezing this butt cheek. These glutes, still tightening these abdominals. The breathing, in through our nose, out through pursed lips. We're just trying to relax those muscles. So if you're like this, oh my gosh, relax your face. Relax your face, relax those muscles. Good. Take that foot off. Let's just get a hip flexor stretch focus. Squeeze that butt cheek, tight abdominals again. Pushing your hips forward a little bit more, reaching up and bending to the side of it. You're going to feel this a little bit more now up here as opposed to just through here. Breathing. But don't relax these glutes. You got to keep those glutes tight. Last one. Good. Okay, shake that leg out a little bit. We did our ankles. We've gone up to our quads, hip flexors. What do we need to do now? We just did a drill. We need to retest. So get in that squat position. How's this feeling? Inhale. Exhale. Hang out at the bottom. How's the squat feeling? Okay? Again, you're not going to be as low as me, but if you were here before and your heels felt like they were going to come up or things felt tight, how do you feel now? Can you get into this a little bit more upright position? Maybe you got a little bit lower. Maybe it doesn't feel as tight. How's that feeling? Okay, check in with yourself. All right? So we're going to move to our third stretch. I guess technically it's our fourth because we did hip flexor and the couch stretch. Couch was foot on the couch. Hip flexor was foot down on the ground. We're going to do our adductor split or our goalie stretch. Okay? So this is going to be stretching the muscles on the inside of your leg, your groin muscles, okay, which for a lot of us are tight. So when we set this one up, you're going to put one knee on the pillow. That's just to be nice to yourself. Okay? You're going to get into this kind of bear crawl position like this. Okay? One leg, you're going to stick out. So from this angle, bear crawl, one leg sticking out to the side. From here, you can take a breath in, exhale, keeping your chest proud, but pushing your hips nice and far back. Pause. You want to feel a stretch on the inside of this leg. Okay, inner groin, keep that foot flat, rock out, inhale, exhale. We don't want to crouch. As soon as I crouch and arc my back or round my back, I lose the stretch in here. Get more into a curved, not hunched, and I feel the stretch immediately. No stretch, stretch. Okay? So let's do 10 rocks, nice and gentle. If that's a bit too easy, you can let this knee, the other knee, slide out a little bit more. And then immediately you're going to get more of a stretch. Now again, for some of you, this might be child's play. That's all good. Then you want to keep it that way, right? Our flexibility doesn't just stay with us. You know, especially people who are in gymnastics, cheerleading, martial arts, dance, things like that. They get really great flexibility and range of motion in their lower body. And then they think that it's going to stay. It's going to stick even if you don't put in the work. Okay? You're still going to probably be above average. Let's switch to the other side. But it's not going to be the same as it was. Especially as you move from being a teenager, okay, to being in your 20s and then get into your 30s and further. Okay? You learn that very quickly in your 20s and definitely learn it in your 30s that it's not the same. Okay? Keep that foot flat. Breathe in. Exhale. Rock back. Okay? So be good to yourself. Do these things to help maintain if you used to have that. Okay? I used to be able to drop in the splits this way, not out to the side, but front splits at the drop of the hat when I was a teenager because of my years of taekwondo. Now I can do it, but then I'm not going to be walking the next day, right? So you want to take care of yourself. Hang out there. I was talking through this all, right? So for me, I wasn't as conscious about what I was doing, but you want to really think about these stretches as you're doing them. Be present and make sure you're feeling it, okay? So let's retest. Loosening up the inside of our legs is going to let us push our knees out, is going to let us create more space to lower into that squat. So let's see how it feels. Get into that squat. Even hang out there a little bit. Does it feel like you get the knees out a little easier? Get into that position a little bit better? Okay? Ask yourself, how am I feeling? For me, even though I have pretty good mobility, my squat's pretty reasonable. Like I feel like I've just created a lot more space in my joints, a lot more space for me to lower down into to get into my squat. So I hope that means that you've been feeling a bit of a change too. The last thing that you can do to help yourself out with your squat, even for those of you who are very experienced with squatting, is just using something for assistance to do your squat. So it might even be as simple as holding onto the side of a couch, right? So imagine I'm holding onto a couch. right in front of me, and just letting it take some of the weight as you lower down into that squat. You know, if you're able to get pretty low and it feels good, heels down, chest up pretty straight with the assistance coming up, then you know you have that range of motion in those joints. You know you can do this squat. If as soon as you let go of the couch, you start doing funky things, then it's a bit of just practicing the technique. It might mean doing more squats with the couch and then slowly using a little bit less help. It might even mean actually picking, I'm gonna use my water bottle. It might even mean just picking something up to give you that counterbalance so that you can get into the right position for your squat. Or doing a squat where you have a weight, something like 8 to 12 pounds, and you slowly push it out, get that counterbalance, and then slowly bring it in. But doing a stretch with a couch assistance or a chair assistance is a great way to just see, okay, you know what, I do have that mobility or I don't. And then you can move from there. So that is the squat. I hope you're feeling a little bit more limber already. We're gonna move on to the toe touch. So we need to do our test to set our baseline, okay? The toe touch is just what it sounds like, okay? We're gonna stand up. We're gonna put our feet together, okay? Because we wanna just make sure that every time we check it, it looks the same. That's how you can actually do a test. You have to be able to repeat this process. So our feet are gonna be together, okay? Hands on our thighs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. See how far you can get. Some of us are gonna be here, here, here. Some of us might be palming the ground. Great, okay? Even if you're touching the ground, it doesn't mean we can't improve. You wanna make sure though that your knees are locked, however far you are. Okay, so we can keep it, again, standard every time we test. Remember how far you are. Look for that mole on your leg or wherever you are by your feet, or if you're at the ground, how does it feel? How far down can you get? How much can you bend your arms? Okay, so we've done the toe touch, our baseline. Now it's time for us to do a couple of things that are gonna help us improve that flexibility and mobility. So, I need you to get your belt out now, or your pair of jeans or pants that aren't gonna rip when you put them around your foot, okay? I'll show you the drill we're gonna do. It's called active leg lowering. So I'm gonna take my belt, put it on the inside of my foot, okay? Leg is gonna be straight. Now I like to wrap my hands just to make sure that it's nice and strong. I'm using this belt just to make sure that I keep my leg up and I keep my leg straight. Okay, so some of you might have your leg here, some of you might have your leg here. Get as far as you can, okay, with your legs straight. And try to pull your toes towards your shin. Not like this, but like this. Okay, so I'm going to adjust this to me a little bit more. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to bring the other leg up too. This is what we're going to do. We're going to keep this leg up and straight, lock the knee, and we're going to move this other leg. So I'm going to take a deep breath in. Exhale. I'm going to slowly exhale as I lower this leg, keeping this leg in the same spot. Tap down. Inhale. Exhale. And repeat. What I'm doing the whole time, though, is keeping my abdominals tight. Imagine somebody standing on your belly and you're bracing. You're staying strong in that midsection so that their feet don't sink right into your gut. Okay? So let's do this together 10 times. Okay? Start from up here. Keep this leg straight. Keep it as far back as you can with that knee not bending. Breathe in. Exhale. Take a count of 3 to 4 to get down. Breathe in. Exhale. Keep going. We're trying to go for about 10 here. Okay? I'm being really conscious of not letting this leg bend. The reason we do that sharp, slow exhale is also to keep ourselves nice and tight in this midsection. We got about 3 left or so. Last one. Awesome. Bring that leg in. Let's switch it up. Other leg. Okay? Again, get this leg as far up as you can, keeping it straight. Other leg's up. Inhale, exhale. Tap down, breathe in. Tight, tight, tight in that midsection. Breathe in. I want you to be so tense in that midsection. Good. I'm feeling the stretch on the back of this leg. You want to keep feeling that stretch. It's not super comfortable. It shouldn't be painful. Let's get 3 more. You can challenge yourself even. Pull it a little bit more if you can. Good, and get your last one. Good, bend that knee, bring it in. What do we do now? I hope you just said retest. So, stand up, feet together, touching. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Do you get any farther? Do you feel any looser? Bend your knees, slowly bring yourself up. Are you feeling any different? I hope so. I'm going to give you one more, okay, for the hamstrings that we're going to try out. It's called an active toe touch. And so now I'm going to get you to grab, a stack of books or maybe 1 or 2 thick textbooks. I'm going to use like 6 children's books. Okay, this should be good. What books do I have here? Don't Call Me Bear, about how koalas aren't bears, apparently. In Your Hands, great book. If you got kids, great story, great message. Not a Stick, The Dinosaur That Pooped the Bed. I think there's like a part 2 as well. This is really funny. Cute Animals Operating Heavy Machinery. A Child of Books. Whew, if you love reading, great. And Good Day, Good Night by the same person who wrote Good Night Moon. Anyway, if you cared, which probably you didn't. That's okay though. Love sharing. So, I have this stack of books. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the balls of my feet, okay, that area below my toes. Okay, that's called the ball of your foot. I'm going to put it on the books, okay? My heels, my ankles are touching. Now, I'm going to take this pillow. I'm actually going to fold it up because it's pretty soft. I'm going to stick it between my knees. Okay? Legs, knees are locked. I'm going to try to crush that pillow. I'm going to try to get my knees to touch each other through that pillow as I gently pulse forward. So this is what I'm going to do. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Reach as far down as I can. Try to keep your back, your back can round a bit, but try to, not absolutely hunch. Okay, so I'm going to keep my back pretty straight as I do this. Okay, and now I'm going to just gently pulse. Not bounce, pulse. Let's do 6 pulses. Bend your knees, just to be nice to the back of your legs. Come up. Okay, now if you are able to touch your toes in that position, awesome. Then try to reach a little bit further with your pulses. I wasn't quite touching my toes there, so what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to crush it. I'm going to bend towards my toes this time around. And now I'm going to bend my knees just enough. I'm bending my knees just enough. Oh, try to get my back pretty flat. It's not perfect. Bend my knees just enough so I can touch. Okay, good. That's as far as I'm going to bend them. Now, pulses. Join me. Keep crushing that pillow. You're feeling the stretch in your hamstrings. 2 more. Come out of it. Bend your knees. Come up. Woo. Okay. Now, we're just doing that twice. You could do that for another set if you wanted. But let's retest again. Okay? Feet together. Legs straight. Deep breath. Feel any different? Look any different for you? Okay? If so, awesome. If not, you could revisit it. Another variation you can do, we're not going to do it right now because I'm just going to share these tools with you. I'm going to go on to upper body in a minute. is you can do the same thing with your heels on it. This is a little bit more challenging. You do the same thing, do the pulses, just gentle pulses. Oh, keep my back a little straighter. Bend my knees a little bit. There we go. Gentle pulses. Bend your knees to come out of it. And then repeat, and you can try the same thing. Okay, that's called active toe touch. Use some books. Use something that's solid, sturdy, to give you some elevation. Return these books now. Okay, so we've worked on our squat, worked on our deadlift. Let's come back to that squat, actually. This stuff can help with our squat as well. Just go. See how that feels? Yeah. For me personally, it feels really good. I feel like I'm able to move smoother. Okay, so squat, toe touch. I said deadlift. I meant our toe touch, but that connects very well to your deadlift pattern and that exercise. We're going to go to our upper body now. Okay, so I just want you to move your arms around. Do some arm circles. How does that feel? Okay, do you feel tightness? If you feel pain, don't repeat the action. Okay, don't repeat the movement that gives pain. That's something that once, we're able to get out of quarantine and go see a physiotherapist, if there's pain and that's been around for a while, we got to deal with that. But get a sense of how things are feeling. Okay, rotate, we're going to do a little, the closest thing that we're going to have to a test here is just this little thing. We're going to sit our butt on our heels, legs together, hand on our opposite thigh, and just reach. Okay, turn your head as far as you can, reach your arm as far as you can. Look for a mark on the wall, a reference point. See where your hand is in reference to that. Don't flex your wrist, keep it straight. Same on the other side. Okay, that can be a simple baseline, that and the feeling from before. So let's do a couple drills. The first one we're going to do is the quadruped reach back. Okay, so you might want something under your knees. I'll show you some variations you can do. This one I find is not as hard on my knees, even on hard ground, but maybe a mat, blanket, something like that, towel. So we're going to set up in bear crawl position. Okay, from here, that means knees under hips, hands under shoulders. From here, I'm going to shoot my hips back. Okay, so if your knees bug you, obviously this position won't be great. So I'll show you a variation that you can do. But we're going to be here, hips back. As far as you can, and you're like this, just take that pillow and stick it there so you have a little bit more of a reference point. Okay? From here, you're going to take your left hand, or one of your hands, you're going to reach under your opposite armpit, in my case, my right armpit. You breathe in, you're going to exhale, open up. So here's the key. My hips have to stay as far back as I can. Okay, this is as far as I can reach, because look what happens if my hips are up. Look how much farther I can go, because now I'm shifting my hips, I'm twisting my low back. No low back, no hip shift. Okay, so again, breathe in, exhale, in, exhale. I want you to do that 5 times. Okay, you can do it as many as 10 times. But I'm going to give you a variation on this as well. Keeping your hips back the whole time. Another version you can do is hand on the back of your neck. Elbow behind elbow. Inhale, exhale. And you might feel that a little bit differently. Okay, so try that for 5. Inhale, exhale. And you always want your head to move, because our body moves along with our head. So if my head stays here, I'm going to be restricting how far my body can move. As soon as my head moves, I open up a little bit more. Okay? Let's switch to the other side now. Here, tabletop position or bear crawl position, hips back. Let's do the straight arm one first. Inhale, exhale, open up. I can already feel one side is definitely, this side is looser than the other. Inhale, exhale. I want you to keep going, and I'm going to explain a little bit about what's happening here. So we're opening up our chest, which is great, awesome. Okay, chest tightness is happening a lot now. We're at home more. We're sitting in front of our computers doing work from home, maybe on our phones a little bit more because we have maybe a little bit more free time, watching TV, whatever the case may be. So that's sweet. But we're also getting movement in this mid-upper back which tends to get really tight. And we want to free that up, okay? Because what happens is if this is really tight, we end up compensating by using our low back, our lower lumbar spine, and it really isn't meant to move a ton, okay? So we want to get that mobility in the upper body. Let's go to that elbow now, hand on the back of our neck, elbow up from this position. Good. 5 times, and then we're going to do that little retest, all right? Now, something I didn't say, and it's something that I would encourage you all to do, even before you do any of the mobility drills that we've done, is to do foam rolling. Now, I don't want to assume that everybody has a foam roller, so we just went straight into mobility drills. But if you've got a foam roller, it's just, looks like a big paper roll, paper towel roll. That's about the size. They can be long, they can be shorter, okay? And it has sometimes studs, it has dense foam on it. Sometimes it's like a really dense pool noodle, or it's PVC pipe with foam on it. And then you roll your muscles out. It's like a rolling pin for your muscles, gives you a massage. That is a really great thing to do prior to doing this mobility. And it's gonna actually allow you to accomplish a lot more. But we gotta do what we can with what we have. So if you don't have a roller, that's okay. Let's do a quick retest. How are things feeling? Just move those arms around. How's that feel? Let's do our little baseline test, or come back to that same test we did for our baseline. Hand over on the opposite side. Open up. Okay, remember, hips aren't twisting. We're keeping our knees squeezed together. Are you any further? Are you any closer to that reference point or past that reference point you saw before? Hand across. Let's try this side. For me, actually, I opened up a little bit more. That felt a lot less restricted. Okay, I don't know how it felt for you. That's a drill you can do every day. It takes a minute to do both sides. But an adjustment for those of you who didn't feel great doing that on the ground, you can actually do it just like this. Okay, so I get into a flat back position, like a bit of a deadlift hinge position. Okay, I put my hand on the couch, reach under my armpit, exhale, and go like this. I'm just trying to avoid shifting my hips or twisting my hips. So you can do the same thing from this position. Or what you can do actually, if you don't have the couch, okay, you can just have your one arm on the outside of the knee or on the inside of the leg. This one will give you will be a little bit more challenging. This one is a bit more manageable. But from here, open up. Or here. Okay, same thing. We're going to move to one more, a little bit more involved hold or stretch. That's called the bretzel. Okay, not pretzel, but bretzel. It's named after this guy, Brett Jones. Doesn't matter, you don't care. But it's a great little mobility drill. So here I'm going to actually take the pillow and we're going to use the floor a little bit more. We're going to lie on the floor. Okay, this is an upper and lower body mobility drill. So I'm bringing everything together here. Okay, so I'm going to lie on my side, right like this. Okay, I want to be pretty comfortable. I want my shoulders to be stacked. So we're not slouched like this right now. Shoulder is stacked. Okay, one shoulder above the other. I'm going to take my top leg. Right now I'm lying on my right side. I'm going to take my left leg, bring my knee up, and put it on the ground. I want the knee not just to be parallel. I want it to be up a little bit. Okay, so a bit of a bigger angle. My bottom arm is going to hold that knee down. From here, I can bring my other knee in a bit, and I'm going to go to reach and grab my ankle. Now, for some of you, you might have to do this. Okay, you might have to set this up earlier and lasso your ankle before you set this part up. Okay, so whatever you need to do, get a hold of that ankle. Okay, so lasso it or just grab it. So here, grab that ankle. We're going to bring that knee so that it's pointing straight down. So I've got a line from my knee to my hip to my shoulders that's straight. Okay? Shoulders are stacked to start. This knee is up above parallel a bit. Some of you are going to feel a stretch immediately in this back leg, in that hip flexor. Okay? Cool. Awesome. It's tight down there. Okay? We're going to try to get a little bit of upper body. So what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to take a breath. It's going to be a deep belly breath. So actually don't fill your chest up. Fill your belly up. in through your nose, out through your nose or pursed lips. And I want you to try to pull your left shoulder back towards the ground as far as you can, following it with your eyes. Inhale, belly breath. You can even hang out here for 3 to 5 breaths. Keep this knee down. Try to keep the knee, hip, and shoulder in line on that bottom leg. Each exhale, try to settle more into it. For some of you, you're now going to get that mid-upper back stretch. You're going to feel a stretch through your pec. It all depends on what's tight. And come out of it. Okay? I'm going to show you from a different angle. Okay? I'm going to show you from here. So it's going to be the same side for me, but just so you can see it a bit better. Okay? I'm going to grab my foot. Set up my other leg. Okay? This knee, hip, and shoulder are in line. Deep breath. This knee needs to stay pulled down. The one that I'm holding to the ground. Open up. You can repeat it. And then do a couple breaths in this position to hold it. Deep belly breaths with each exhale. Relax into it. Come out of it. Let go. Come up. Move around a little bit. You could go back to some of your baselines. Do your upper body baseline. Okay? Feel. Go into your squat. Just move around a little bit. See how it feels. Okay? So, we went from working on a couple of different drills for our squat to things to help us reach our toes a little bit easier to some drills for our upper body. The reality is that all of this is connected. So you don't want to just dwell on, okay, I'm only going to work on things for my squat. That upper body work, you're probably going to notice that if you do your squat test right now, that squat's going to feel a little bit better too, because it's going to be easier to keep that upper body position because we've loosened things up a little bit more. Okay? If we had done the upper body stuff and then gone to the squat, it all connects. So I really encourage you. We're going to be home a lot more these days. Now that we're in quarantine or we're in that self-isolation, spent working at home, doing school at home. Take some little moments in the day. And maybe you're going to do just one of those drills at a time, maybe a pair of 3 of them. Always do the movement first, like the squat. Do the squats first. Do the drill. Do the squats again. Okay? The reason why I want you to do that is because if you just do the ankle rock, and then do the couch stretch, and then do the adductor split squat, and then go back to sitting down, okay, you don't get much out of it. You need to put those, you want to apply that range of motion that you've gotten, that mobility that you've improved. You want to apply it to a movement, okay? Even better would be pick up a light weight, pick up a backpack with some books in it, and do 3 sets of 10 squats. Really light, but just to really tell your body, check this out, look what I'm able to do now. All right, so really good job today. Thanks for sticking with it. The word of the day for those of you who are doing this for your phys ed credit is mobilize. The word is mobilize, because this is what we got to do, folks. We got to stay limber. We got to keep moving. We got to mobilize that. All right, so great job today. Have an awesome rest of your day. Always ask questions. Feel good. Move well. I'll talk to you later. See you later.